Hello and welcome to Today in the News on Vanguard Live. I am Precious Chukudi. We begin with the front pages of the papers this morning, starting off with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with a tariff hike, 20-hour supply for Band A customers on the thread. Rider says as power allocation hovers at 3,236 megawatts. PH Discos apologizes for shortfall. Kaduna Disco sets up response teams. No transparency, fairness in billing, that's coming from CPPE. Firms will pay for the services they don't enjoy, and that's coming from LCCI. Experts expect improvement in supply. And we can see a photo story showing the president and some dignitaries at Eid prayers in Lagos and also at Eid prayers in Sokoto. No cause for alarm on next Olubado, and that's coming from Makinde. Alleged defamation. Betta Edu threatens to sue BBC. Edo Guba, my impeachment won't stand, and that's coming from Shaibo. On sports page, we have a world drum warns Nigeria over Olympics preparation. Stories above transfer of pension money out of Nigeria escalates. Inquiry, Okuama community shuns military panel, Okoloba in attendance. PDP neck meeting, governors orders renew battle for party soul. Fair court, Air Peace chair Onyema slams foreign airlines over conspiracy. Eid Fitri, security improving, federal government declares. Take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with NSAS Pro Panel reports. Victims await a 1.7 billion naira compensation from 25 states 3 years after. Tragic Salah, monarch dies. Reckless driver flings two passengers into Lagos Lagoon. Malabu case, EFCC dismisses a compromise allegation, considers appeal. Price of goods not reducing amid naira appreciation. Accord party tells federal government. Atala Tinubu Buhari orders seek resilience, support peace, unity. EFCC is a fresh charge link Emefiele to Lagos firms. We refuse to move on. 91 Chibok girls' parents tell Tinubu's wife seek intervention. FX crisis, poor infrastructure depress healthcare sector earnings. Pilgrim palliatives, between personal religious rights and misplaced state priorities, and that's the news analysis on the Guardian. We take a look at the Nation newspaper. The Nation is leading with our diesel price cut driving down inflation, says Dangote. Right? They say entrepreneurs should work with government. Abiodun economy on recovery part. Government to firm up non-oil revenue plan. And of course, we are believing our government. Tinubu urges Nigerians. Stories above Eid Fitri Day tragedies. Lagos monarch, ex-Kogi governor's son die after prayer. Two flung into lagoon in Third Mainland Bridge crash. Three die in Lagos Borno highway accident. Makinde caution against disunity over Olubadan's stool. Military begins probe of Okuama killings in Warri. We take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with Eid Fitri, defend Nigeria, support leaders. Tinubu Buhari urge citizens. The writer says, let's protect Nigeria's integrity. Tinubu appeals to Nigerians. Support for leaders. A vote for better tomorrow, says Buhari. NAFDAC orders recall of toxic cough syrup. Ondo and Moteko nabbed 14 suspected kidnappers, 31 others. Stories above. Electricity tariff. Federal government plans a 1.5 trillion naira savings, 2.5 million meter installations. Fresh borrowings may push Nigeria's debt to 111 trillion naira. Cash crunch hits CCB state offices. Asset verification face hurdles. Last year on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Bank customers' complaints jumped by 63%, and that's coming from a report. And that's what we can take on the front pages of the papers. Join us after the break. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining, still today in the news on Vanguard Live, I am Precious Chukudi. We begin with some of the stories on the front pages of the paper. Let's examine some of them. And of course, we're looking at tariff hike, 20-hour supply for Band A customers on the threat. And of course, it's barely 1 week after the new tariff regime, which increased the electricity tariff by 231% for Category A consumers. And there are indications that the electricity supply capacity is grossly inadequate to meet the 20 hours per day minimum benchmark for the new tariff while accommodating other categories of consumers. The 11 electricity distribution companies DISCOs operating in the electricity sector were allocated just 3,236 megawatts, thus constraining them from delivering a minimum of 20 hours power supply to consumers under Band A nationwide. Vanguard's findings show that this has been the average supply before the tariff jack-up, and no improvement has been made since the new tariff came into force last week. The new multi-year tariff order (NYTO) that raised electricity rates for about 2 million customers by 231% to 255 naira per kilowatt from 68 naira per kilowatt, Vanguard's finding further showed is running under power generation stranded at 4,200 megawatts in the past 7 days. Information in the data supplied by Independent System Operators (ISO) showed that at 3 p.m. yesterday, load allocation to the 11 discos, which stood at 3,236 megawatts, gave Abuja discos the highest allocation of 611 megawatts, followed by Ikeja Electric 203 megawatts, Echo discos 530 megawatts, Ibadan discos 323 megawatts, Benin discos 290 megawatts, and Enugu discos 193 megawatts. Others were Port Harcourt discos, Kano discos, Kaduna Electric Just discos, and Yola discos. This shortfall in supply has prompted some discos to appease their customers, with Port Harcourt discos issuing public apologies. Now, it's one thing for them to say they're putting people on Band A, it's another thing to ensure that these people are actually getting the stipulated amount of electricity supply they're supposed to get in a day. All right, to move on to our next story. Our next story is Fair Court. Airpeace chair Onyema slams foreign airline over conspiracy. And the chairman of Nigeria flag carrier Airpeace, Onyema, has raised the alarm that foreign carriers operating the Nigeria-UK route were allegedly conspiring to send its airline out of international operations by crashing airfares on the route. According to him, there is an unspoken alliance among foreign airlines to use lower pricing to eject Airpeace from the Nigerian-London route. Onyema, who disclosed this in an interview, said if they take out Airpeace prematurely, this country will pay dearly for it, 10 times over. Billions will be lost. There will be another heavy strain on the naira. Recall that the price of international flight tickets on the Lagos-London route was as high as 3.5 million naira, but with Airpeace pegging a return economy class ticket for 1.2 million naira. Foreign airlines such as British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, and Qatar Airways have been forced to slash their prices to stay competitive. The Airpeace boss said that the foreign airlines operating the route are fighting back, noting that we are being deliberately frustrated in all ways. He cited ground handling and space allocation at Gatwick Airport in the last couple of days as some of the ways Airpeace was being frustrated. He said, and I quote, "It is a very devilish conspiracy. All of a sudden, foreign airlines are underpricing below the cost. It's not up to 1 month. An airline was advertising $100, another one was advertising $300, another one $350. Fill up the entire aircraft and carry people on the wings. It's not even enough to buy your fuel. So why are they doing that? Their governments are supporting them because Nigeria has been a cash cow for everybody. Their governments are supporting them to do this and to take Airpeace out. The idea is to take Airpeace out, and the moment they succeed in taking Airpeace out, Nigerians will pay 20 times over again," Onyema said. He invited other Nigerian airlines to join the Nigerian-UK route to break the monopoly hitherto enjoyed by foreign carriers operating into the four major gateway airports of Lagos, Abuja, Kaduna, and Port Harcourt. We take a look at our next story, and our next story is on inquiry. Okuama community shun military panel, Okoloba in attendance. And Okuama community in Ugeli South local government area, Delta State, yesterday snubbed the board of inquiry constituted by Defense Headquarters to probe the killings of 17 military personnel on March 14 in the community and the border crisis between it and Okoloba in Bomadi local government area. On the contrary, the people of Okoloba community appeared for the sitting at Government House Annex Wari. The Okoloba community was scheduled to meet with the panel at 2 p.m. However, the Director General of Political and Security Services Delta State, Mr. David Tomwe, ushered its six representatives to meet with the panel at about 3:45 p.m. Tomwe, a former chairman of Warri Southwest local government area, also announced the chartering of journalists waiting since 10 a.m. that they would not allow journalists to cover the proceedings. His words, I quote, Journalists will not be allowed in with the community. The absence of Okuama community at the panel reaffirmed their widely publicized position that they will not appear before it. Their counsel before the recent murder of the 17 soldiers on a peace mission to the community, Innocent Ejedegba, had told Vanguard that he was not sure Okuama would appear before the military panel. According to him, the military is not the appropriate body to constitute an inquiry into an issue it was an interested party. He also appealed for an independent inquiry by the police and other credible civil institutions. Vanguard gathered that the panel visited the Cordon Okuama community before the sitting. A reliable source told Vanguard, I heard the panel was at Okuama community before it came for the sitting. The members needed to go see things for themselves. At press time, journalists were waiting for the panel to address them. Take a look at Mr. and Mrs. before we go. And Mrs. is speaking. She says, my mom called. She said I sounded frail over the phone, that I must have lost weight. And Mr. responds and size if she's still using that old cheap and lightweight phone. Everything she does with it becomes weightless. Mr. coming for his mother-in-law. All right, so that's all we can take today in the news. Remember that you can equally like, share, and subscribe on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. To find out today's stories, go to our website www.vanguardindia.com.